Okay, dinner time on day 15. We are gonna make some turkey chili. So I think the only adjustment that I'm really making with this is that I'm not using onion. I'm using some onion powder and some garlic powder, but I'm hoping that's gonna be okay. Other than that, I'm using vegan cheese, and I'm using these grain-free tortilla chips for the chili. So this is my mom's recipe, and you can find it in the description below. But I'm gonna start with just browning the ground turkey. Next thing I'm gonna do is start the brown rice pasta. I like to add pasta to my chili. I don't know why, that was something that my mom did. And then from there, we are going to need some tomato juice. So not tomato sauce, tomato juice. So this has 0 sugar in it, 0 added sugar, and then I get the low sodium kind. So you can find this normally in the juice aisle, not in like the pasta aisle. And then I'm gonna use this entire thing in the chili. Then I'm gonna put in a can of pinto beans. I'm gonna rinse these off first because otherwise they give you gas. But I'm hoping just 1 can will be fine. Then I'm going to add the seasoning packet, which I don't know where it is, but I'll show it to you later. I found this spicy chili Simply Organic mix, and it is vegan and it is gluten-free, so this is the stuff that we're using today. We'll see how it is. Okay, gonna strain the fat, dump it out. Honestly, very fatty turkey. It was 85%, 15% fat. But it seemed like there's so much liquid in there. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that ground turkey in my big soup pan, or soup pot. And then I'm going to add the tomato juice. It's actually like the simplest recipe ever. We'll put this in here. More complicated than it seems. Okay. Now I'm gonna grab my pinto beans. I'm gonna rinse those off. I'm gonna add these in. Is anyone else afraid that when they open up like a can of anything, there's gonna be like bugs in there? Because, ooh, maybe it's just me. Gonna rinse this out, then you can recycle it. Add the spicy chili mix. Add quite a bit of salt, because you know, I'm kind of a salt hoe. And that's so not politically correct to say. Okay, time to put the gluten-free brown rice pasta in. Okay, 5 to 7 minutes. This is so good. It's happened to me a few times with the brown rice pasta that you have to keep it on for longer than they say. Okay, now we're gonna put all this pasta in this chili sauce. And honestly, we're gonna have leftovers for days. This is gonna be the last thing I have to cook for the elimination diet. It's just all this chili. Mix it together. It's kind of good for the brown rice pasta anyway, because the brown rice pasta likes to stick to itself, and this kind of allows it to, you know, spread out a little bit. Okay, and the final result. And that's it. I'm gonna let it sit there for another like 5 minutes to simmer. And then I'm gonna put it in a bowl. I'm gonna put some vegan cheese on it. That's dairy, gluten, everything free basically. And then I'm gonna get some Siete grain-free tortilla chips and put those in there as well. That's it. I hope you enjoyed Donna Light's turkey chili recipe. So it is day 18, and we were just ordering, like I was getting some iced tea from Starbucks, and I feel like I've been kind of not super sympathetic toward people who are like asking, oh, is this gluten-free? Is this caffeine-free? Like, does this have any sugar? And I need to change that about myself, because now I'm doing it and I feel super uncomfortable, and I'm like, I'm sorry to be such an inconvenience to the person working, but I think it's a good thing to remember, because we don't know what people are doing and like why people need to be gluten-free or caffeine-free, and just something I need to remind myself. One of our favorite soups is chicken lemon orzo soup, but naturally we are not allowed to have any orzo, and also this soup calls for a roux that has flour, which contains gluten, and milk, which contains dairy. So we're going to be making some adjustments tonight. I'm by no means saying that this is the healthiest soup, because it's not. Roux are kind of like inherently, you usually use like a whole stick of butter, and so they're not usually like that good for you, but it tastes so good. And sometimes on day, I think it's 17, maybe it's 18, sometimes you just need to eat something that you really want to eat. So that's what we're doing tonight. So one of the first things that I do with this recipe is I start to yellow or brown the onions. But as you know, onions have been causing me a lot of problems because they are a high FODMAP food. So in our Misfit Market bundle, we got a bunch of green onion, and you are allowed to have like the green part of the green onion, not allowed to have the white part. So we are going to cut the, oh God. We're going to cut the green onion, and then we are going to saute it in some ghee. And then from there, we are going to start the roux. Yeah, I think like half of that. Jared's picking out the light ones because he's very sweet. And then we're gonna put them in this pan with some ghee and make sure they don't burn. We've never really tried this before, browning green onion, but we'll see, we'll see. Never gonna kiss you again. I got gonna kiss you. So as Jared browns the green onion, I'm going to get the meat off of this chicken. This chicken just has oregano, black pepper, garlic, salt, and rosemary. So I don't see any like big chunks of garlic in here, so I'm thinking that we're good. We're gonna try putting some like ground onion in the soup tonight, or like onion powder rather, to see if that affects my stomach at all. We'll see, as opposed to like big chunks of onion. How's it going over there?
It's so good. These onions are still green.
Thick chicken. Great, that looks perfect.
I mean, they look really good.
Okay, so I know this is gonna look gross when you're doing it the first time. It's gonna feel gross, but it gets better. It really does. It gets easier, you know.
They've already done the hard work for you, is what I'm hearing.
They've already done a lot of the work, so it's kind of nice to be able to just be like. And honestly, you learn so much about anatomy.
What would you rate the chances of accidentally cutting yourself in one of these videos?
I think about that a lot. I'm like, I'm gonna show you me cutting a carrot, and then it'd be really bad if I were to, I would definitely leave it in. I would definitely let y'all see all the blood and everything. It'd be sick.
No.
We're almost done here, and then we're gonna go on to the roux. So, there's our old chicken, and there's the chicken for the soup. Okay, so Normally the recipe for the roux is 1 whole stick of butter, 2 cups of milk, and then I like sprinkle in, after that's all like kind of whisked together, I sprinkle in some flour until it's like just like a little bit thicker of a consistency. I make sure that it doesn't burn, and then I set it to the side because that is going to be added to your chicken broth to give it like a nice like creamy, rich flavor and texture. My mom and sisters are all like, we love to make soup and we're all kind of soup snobs. This is the way that I do my roux. They do their roux differently. Their roux like isn't thick, but I like my roux to be thick because it ends up dissolving into the soup anyway. It doesn't like go to the bottom, it dissolves into the broth. So that's the way that I do it. Because I'm not using butter, I'm gonna be using like a lot of, yeah, like I have this much left in my ghee. In my face. Yes, there we go. And I'm gonna be using a lot of it in this roux. I've never made a vegan roux before. I'm using ghee, almond milk, and some Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 gluten-free baking flour. So we'll see how it goes. That was so much. Okay, I'm gonna just say that that's enough. I hope to God.
I think visually it's enough. This is my hand. That's how much butter. So, I hope that was a helpful system of measurement.
Almond milk. So my roux is heating up. I'm gonna do it pretty slowly so it doesn't burn. And then I'm gonna add some of the flour. Jared's cutting up some carrots and some celery. And we are actually going to start that process really soon because it takes a really long time for the carrots to get to like a nice consistency. So actually we are going to start that now. So I'm gonna start the broth. I'm gonna do this is a liter, right? I think so. Right. I'm gonna do like 64 ounces of chicken broth with the green onions that we just browned, and then the carrots and the celery. So we did like 5 carrots and like 4 stalks of celery. And we are going to bring that to a boil so that those carrots start to cook, because that's probably gonna take like 40 minutes. The carrots take a really long time. So let's do it. Okay, starting to mix the roux a bit. It seems like it's very liquidy right now. Oop. Some chef is gonna watch this and they're gonna be like, you are an absolute idiot and you are horrible at cooking. And to them, I will say, you are right, but I get the job done. You know, the food tastes good, so that's good usually, when I don't oversalt it. But I am sure that I'm doing everything wrong. Okay, I'm going to take my gluten-free flour. You can put it. And I will gently sprinkle some of it, gently. I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit throughout, and then I'm gonna whisk it in. Okay, this is what it looks like right now. I don't know if you can really see that super well. I'm going to turn the heat down and then add a little bit more flour and then keep on whisking until it gets a little bit thicker. So it's starting to thicken pretty well. Good, good. Okay, what do we have next? We have the roux. We're gonna wait probably like 20 minutes for the chicken stock to boil and to start getting those carrots under control. And then we will add the rice, and then we'll add the chicken, then we will add the roux, and then at the very, very end, we will add the lemon. So we'll probably squeeze 2 lemons in there to get a really nice lemony taste. And then at some point I'm going to add some salt and pepper because I haven't added any salt to this. So I love salt. Alrighty, so it is about time to put the rice in. This rice cooks for 15 to 20 minutes, which is perfect because then the carrots will be done. So we're gonna put about 1.5 cups of rice in. Okay, little update. So the soup is going well, but because we added the rice soaked up a bunch of the chicken broth. So I'm going to add one more 32-ounce thing of chicken broth. And then, because the rice only has like 10 minutes left, I'm gonna add in the roux and the chicken. And then at the very end, when it has like 2 minutes left, then we will add in the 2 lemons. Jared's gonna do that. Ooh. Okay, add in the chicken. Add in the roux. So she's not really at a boil anymore, so we're gonna bring her back to a boil. I'm gonna mix in this roux. It's looking very, very tasty. And honestly, the last thing is just going to be to add salt and pepper and add the lemon. Okay, it has been about 45 minutes that the carrots have been boiling and the rice is done. So the last step, I just salted the water, just salted the soup. And the last step is going to be to squeeze the 2 lemons into the soup. So, Jared.
Yes?
Can you come squeeze the lemons for me?
Right.
I'm gonna let him do the honors. Oh my god. Not as
How
good.
you know a good knife?
You gotta get in there.
It's okay, we can have some lemon seeds in there. That would
Nope.
give us some extra what?
Protein.
No?
Fat.
Yes. No! You were supposed to get that right.
I know, but maybe I got it wrong as like a teaching tool. There's some extra seeds in there this time.
Oh good, some
A little
extra.
fat.
Yes.
It's good because I will have high mental capacity, good energy throughout the day. So many tools, so little time. Oh, this looks good. Can you see in there? Don't get burned.
It's hard, honestly, it's hard to see that.
It looks creamy, but we know it's not.
Not real creamy.
And that, my children, is magic.
She's done. Okay, so I really have no idea what this is gonna taste like. I mean, I have an idea of what it's gonna taste like, but I haven't tasted it yet, so.
You have hopes and dreams for it.
Hopes and dreams. It's really, really good.
Is it good?
It's really good.
Oh, thank goodness. We're not gonna starve.
Probably my best yet, honestly. And it's
Very brave.
vegan except for the chicken, so you could take the chicken out, well, and the chicken broth. So make sure that you wait for that. Yep. Okay.
As they say in Italy, hasta luego.
I don't think that is right. And you're still laughing about it.
Ciao.
Goodbye. Okay, today is day 21 of the elimination diet, which means that it's my last day. And I have a couple of things that I want to chat with you about. Firstly, that I think this was an invaluable experience. I think I needed this time of being strict and making a food log and keeping a poop journal and like doing all that stuff, because again, I feel like honestly there will never be another time in my life that I have this flexibility and that I'm able to do this. So first of all, I learned so much. I really did. I learned about how to cook differently. I learned about how my body is affected by different foods. I learned about how my mood is affected, how my energy levels are affected, how my workouts are affected. I am, again, so happy that I did it, but I have not exactly found the source of my problems. So there were a couple of days in there that I was really optimistic. I was feeling good, my stomach was feeling good, my brain was feeling good, but I have to say that majority of the time, my stomach was a mess. The silver lining here, I was able to do the elimination diet. I was able to eliminate, gluten and dairy and corn and sugar and coffee and all this stuff, right? And granted, I'm starting Reintroduction tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure that I don't have intolerances to like any of those things. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to eat a bagel tomorrow and eat pasta tomorrow night, and I'm going to feel fine. And then the next, on day 3, I'm gonna drink some milk and I'm gonna feel fine. And honestly, I think that's all a good thing. I'm still super happy that I've had these 3 weeks of elimination so that I really can see what these foods are going to do to my stomach. Because there's definitely a possibility that I won't be fine after I eat dairy, or I won't be fine after I eat sugar again. But what it has shown me, I have had this limited diet of things that I can eat, and I've been writing it down this entire time, which means that I can go back and look at my food log and one by one weed out what foods may be giving me gut problems. For example, I've been having a smoothie almost every single day. Could my vegan protein powder be affecting my gut? Absolutely. Could tomatoes be affecting my gut? Because I eat those almost every single day because they're not on the elimination diet. Absolutely. There are so many foods that I've been eating because they're the only foods that I can eat. And if I have insensitivities to those foods, I wouldn't know about it. So, like I said, this didn't give me all the answers, but it definitely is an amazing step in the right direction. I'm looking at my food log. I'm looking at a low FODMAP diet to see which foods could be causing inflammation because they're high in FODMAP. So like, I found out today that blueberries are high FODMAP. I have blueberries in so many of my smoothies. So I am super happy with these 21 days. I would definitely suggest it to anyone who's having gut problems after they talk to their doctor. And I think the big takeaway here is that it teaches you so much. It may not give you exactly the right answer right now, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, and I'm really happy about that. So, next in the process is Reintroduction. Reintroduction is going to be me picking a food that I cut out for the elimination diet, having 3 servings of that in one day, taking one day to kind of figure out what the effects were and like feel out my body, and then on the 3rd day I pick a new food and I do the same thing over and over and over again. So there's no like real way that you have to do Reintroduction, but I think I'm gonna be starting with gluten and then we will go from there. I have my meals planned out for tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited. And I will be logging all that for you and letting you know how that's affecting my gut and exactly how that Reintroduction process goes. Stay tuned.